What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $1,400 third stimulus check update and third stimulus package update as the U.S. Senate has passed the third stimulus check package, the third stimulus check bill, the $1,400 stimulus checks, the $1,400 stimulus checks for children, the $1,400 stimulus checks for adult dependents and college student dependents, along with all the other things that are in this bill. The $3,000 to $3,600 child income tax credits that's going to be paid to the parents of the children in monthly increments of $250 to $300 per month. Unemployment has been extended to September 6th at $300 per week, but also includes a $10,200 income tax credit on your unemployment money, as well as the other things that are in this bill: mortgage assistance, rental assistance, property tax assistance, utility assistance. We have a free COBRA healthcare coverage. We have sick leave paid of up to $1,400 per week. The $15 an hour minimum wage was removed from the bill. It is not in there. They were not able to pass it as the Senate voted down the minimum wage provision with a 42 yes to 58 no votes. All 50 Republicans voted no, along with 8 Democrats on the $15 an hour minimum wage. The fate of the minimum wage raise will likely come up after the House passes the minimum wage bill. It has to go back to the House to be passed. It's now been passed by the Senate and then to the president to sign. The minimum wage bill, however, will have to be a standalone bill likely after this, along with the other things coming, such as the Social Security increase of $200 per month, the student loan forgiveness, which is very hot right now. And we will actually hear from Elizabeth Warren, who is the one of the main authors of both of those bills in this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on updates on the third stimulus check, when it will be in your bank account, when it will be signed by the president, as well as the next stimulus package already announced called the Build Back Better package, as well as all the other things we cover: the student loan forgiveness, the Social Security increase, and future stimulus checks, mortgage and rental assistance. We cover it all here. Unemployment, yeah, all of it. Also, don't forget to smash the like button and let's jump right in. The CDC has announced a new study based on the coronavirus that links masks to actually fewer deaths, meaning that masks have actually saved lives. As you can see here, a new study from the CDC finds that mask mandates were linked to a decline in COVID-19 cases and deaths. The study also found that allowing restaurant dining was linked to increases in cases and deaths. The death growth rate was 1.9 percentage points less 81 to 100 days after a mask mandate, the study found, with smaller declines before then, starting as soon as 1 to 20 days afterwards. Case growth rates declined up to 1.8 percentage. On the other hand, allowing restaurant dining was linked to a 3-point increase in the death growth rate 81 to 100 days later. There were no meaningful increases until 60 days after restaurant dining was allowed. Case growth rates were about 1% higher starting 41 days after dining was allowed. The study examined the period between March 1st and December 31st of 2020. It did not make a distinction between indoor and outdoor dining. Experts have long said outdoor dining is safer, given the ability of the virus to spread through poorly ventilated indoor air. The study concludes that mask mandates and restrictions any on-premises dining at restaurants can help limit community transmission of the virus and reduce cases and deaths. These findings can inform public policies to reduce community spread of the virus. This comes as the U.S. has reached about 29 million positive people in the United States having tested positive for the virus. That's about 10% of the entire United States. 524,000 people have died due to this virus. We're averaging about 70,000 new cases per day, which is much, much lower than the high of around 300,000 cases per day, which we had at the beginning of January. However, 70,000 cases per day does equal or the very all-time high of the summer, which was back in July. So we're still at around the high which we were at in July based on cases. Based on deaths, is we're averaging around 2,000 people per day every single day. Yesterday was 2,500 people about on average. This equals the all-time high of what we hit back in March and April when we actually had the lockdown, but is not as high as the 4,000 cases per day that we had in January. On the $1,400 stimulus checks, as you can see here on the screen, that individuals making less than $75,000, including anybody on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, disability, as long as you make less than $75,000 and you have a Social Security number, you will be receiving the $1,400 stimulus checks. This includes $1,400 for children and $1,400 for adult dependents and $1,400 for adult dependents. There's no limit on children, so literally a $1,400 stimulus check per child, as long as you, the adult dependent, the adult claimer of the dependent, makes less than $75,000. If you go up to $80,000, you'll get a reduced check, and over $80,000, you will not get a check anymore. This is, you can double this for couples, so up to $150,000, which will cut off at $160,000. Head of households will start at $112,500 for the $1,400 stimulus checks. That will also qualify for the $1,400 for your children as well. In addition to the $1,400 stimulus check, which is the largest yet to date, and there will be more to come, the next stimulus package has already been announced. There's multiple different buckets of money, we call it on this channel here, including a $300 per week unemployment extension until September 6th of this year. This was initially proposed to be $400 per week. However, to get Democratic Senator Joe Manchin's vote, they had to lower it to $300 per week. However, included in that is $10,200 of unemployment money that will not be taxable. So the first $10,200 of unemployment money for the year 2021 will not be taxable. So for this year, if you make any unemployment money at all, up to $10,200 will not be taxable on this year's taxes. So 2021, that you'll be filing next year, likely next April. So it's for this year's unemployment money. Along with, as you can see here, $350 billion for state and local governments, get to that here in a quick second, and health insurance help where the government will pay your COBRA benefits to let you keep your health insurance if you lose your job during the pandemic this year. So yeah, they will actually pay your health insurance benefits for 12 to 18 months if you lose your job from the pandemic. On the $350 billion going to state and local governments, we will be seeing more state and local county stimulus checks, such as the ones that California and Maryland just passed. California passed $600 stimulus checks, a whole stimulus package actually, for California and low income earning Californians, as well as the state of Maryland that just passed $300 and $500 stimulus checks for certain people in Maryland, along with money for small business owners and different packages. We just seen this from California and Maryland. And in the past, we've seen other stimulus programs on the county level, such as Orange County, California, which actually passed $1,000 stimulus checks with 3 different rounds as early as December. This is money that came from the first stimulus check package, and we will be seeing more from the second and the third stimulus check packages as states and counties get over $350 billion from the third stimulus check package alone. I will be keeping you up to date with these state and local county stimulus check packages, as well as mortgage and rental assistance coming from this third stimulus check package in the future. This money for state and local counties actually has a provision in there this time around that they have to spend more of the money on you guys, basically mortgage assistance, rental assistance, property tax assistance, utility assistance, keeping people from being homeless, passing stimulus checks. There's a new provision in there that they only get half of their money and they have to prove that they're doing that. And then if they're in a high unemployment area, they can actually get all their money, and they have to put more of their money towards programs benefiting the people, and they can't use it on like certain things that basically like to prevent tax raises and certain things like that. So basically, more of the money, that $350 billion will be going to you guys in the form of local, county, and state programs in the future. Next, let's hear from Senator Elizabeth Warren on the third stimulus check package, as well as some of the other things that she's talking about. Remember, she is the author of two critical bills that we will be seeing probably a lot of movement on in the future: student loan forgiveness and the unemployment boost of $200 per month.
Professor Atkinson, welcome. I am so happy to see you here. You have written about all kinds of consumer debt, but today I want to talk about student loan debt. About 43 million Americans now carry $1.5 trillion in student loans. That's more than Americans owe in auto loans or credit card loans. And that burden of debt is stopping people from buying homes or starting businesses. It's holding our whole economy back. So I want to ask you about who these student borrowers are. Some people have argued that people with student loans are lawyers and doctors who took out debt to go to fancy schools. Professor Atkinson, is that an accurate picture of who has student loans?
Good morning, Senator Warren. It is not an accurate picture. If anything, if we think about fancy schools, and I'll insert here the Ivy League schools to, as example of fancy schools, debt loads are among the smallest among those graduates from those schools. And some of it has to do with those schools have the resources to support students, right? They don't, or else they enroll students who themselves have resources. So instead, some of the schools that tend to have, the highest level of debts are regional schools. For example, one school particularly, I have a set of notes here just to think about this question. Alabama State University, 89% of students leave with an average of $54,000 in student debt. And I want to focus on the word leave. It doesn't mean that they leave with a degree, right? They leave. And so, I think it runs the gamut of community college students, for-profit students, traditional four-year college students, students who are just, believing what we've told them, that if you go out and get an education, your life can be better, and what they get instead is debt.
Thank you so much. That's very powerful. Canceling student loan debt would expand opportunities for millions of people and would provide a massive stimulus for our economy.
So the interesting thing here is that the student loan forgiveness could possibly open up the door to other loan type of forgiveness, such as mortgage loan forgiveness. What about credit card forgiveness? The thing is that President Biden says he's willing to do at least $10,000 of student loan forgiveness. So this kind of opens the door, because a few years ago, student loan forgiveness was literally a fairy tale. People would have laughed at you in Congress, and now it's a reality. I mean, I would say it's been a couple years in the making, but now it's actually a reality because literally President Biden is for it, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says that he can do this simply through an executive order. So if they can do student loan forgiveness, can they also do $10,000 of credit card debt forgiveness? Can they also do $10,000 of mortgage debt forgiveness? And here's the thing, in the bill that they just passed in the Senate, the third stimulus check bill, they actually passed it with a new provision for student loan forgiveness, which also could open the door for other loan or other debt forgiveness. And that provision says in the third stimulus check package that any student loans that are forgiven in the next 5 years will not have to pay that forgiven loan as income tax. For example, if you get a debt forgiven, such as like through a bankruptcy or sometimes on your mortgage, you actually have to pay taxes on that. That actually counts as income. So, for example, if you got $10,000 of student loan forgiven, you would actually have to pay $10,000 of income tax there. So maybe it would cost you $1,000 or $2,000 based on a 10 or 20% income rate. You would basically have $10,000 that you earned because you got the debt forgiven. Well, in the bill that they just passed in the Senate, the third stimulus check package, they passed a special clause there that said that any debt that is forgiven for student loans will not have to be counted as income. So not only are they gearing up to actually pass student loan forgiveness in the very near future, but they're also already saying that it won't have to be counted as income. So this is very exciting for anybody that has student loans, any of your family members that have student loans, but also really opens the possibility that if they can do it for student loans, can they do it for credit card debt? Can they do it for mortgage debt? It's a very real possibility because if they're going to do 10, what about the people that don't have $10,000 in student loans? What if they decide to do $10,000 for people, whether it's student loans or credit card debt or mortgage debt? I don't know, but it's going to be very interesting. And we're going to see that happen right after the third stimulus check package. We're going to see the next stimulus package appearing, the Build Back Better package, which is actually going to be larger than this one, $2 to $3 trillion. We're also going to have the student loan forgiveness, probably a big deal there. We're going to probably see a big push on the $200 per month Social Security increases that Biden campaigned on, as well as 20% more for widows and widowers, 5% more for people that have been on Social Security for over 20 years, as well as a new cost of living increase, changing it to a different index, and probably a new bill for a minimum wage raise. Although the Democrats will probably, there's almost no way they can pass it at $15 an hour. They're probably going to have to compromise with Republicans at $10 or $11 an hour, which will still be a huge win for anybody that is on the federal minimum wage of $7.25, because it'll probably go up to $10 or $11 over the course of the next couple of years, which is about a 50% or more increase in your wages. So I will keep you up to date on all these things as they come out. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. It's completely free. Click the bell icon to all notifications once you subscribe so you get notifications when we go live, and share this video with your family and friends so that they know when the third stimulus check goes to the House. And once the House signs it, it goes to the president, who signs it, who will then sign it into law and start to send the checks out and actually have the checks and money arriving in your bank account, along with all the other buckets of money that we discussed that are in that package. I will keep you updated on those details as soon as we get them. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their 9 to 5 income selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.